Okay, today we are going to do lesson 3-9, problem solving. We're going to be drawing pictures and writing equations. You've already learned how to multiply whole numbers. Today you're going to learn how to draw a picture to help you write a multiplication equation that you can use to solve the problem. So we will be using this teaching tool that you see on your screen right now. You fill out the one that I have given you while I fill out the one on your screen. So today we're in the box that says problem. My problem is going to be as follows. So you go ahead and write down the problem and I will show it to you how I have it. Here's my worksheet, and my problem is Kevin took 248 photos on a field trip. Marco took 2 times as many. How many photos did Marco take? So I want you to go ahead and copy this problem down in the problem box. So a couple of things we need to pay attention to. I'm going to go ahead and highlight them. Kevin took 248 photos. Ooh, that's kind of dark. So I'm going to make that not so dark for you. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight 248 photos, and that was what Kevin took. And then Marco took 2 times as many photos. And the question that we want to answer is, how many photos did Marco take? So we are wondering, how many did Marco take on their field trip? So once you have this problem written down, I want you to look at the box that says find, and we need to think, what are we trying to find? So reread the problem and ask yourself, what are you trying to find? Go ahead and pause this video and fill out your find box. Okay, so we are trying to find the number of photos Marco took on their field trip. It asks us that at the very end of the question. It says, how many photos did Marco take? So I want you to go ahead and fill this out for the find. You may, again, pause the video if you need to. All right, now we are going to figure out, what do we know? Well, what did the problem say that we know for sure? I have down that Kevin took 248 photos. If we go back to our question, it tells us right here, Kevin took 248 photos. We know that's a fact. So we need to write that in our no box. We also know that Marco took 2 times as many photos as Kevin. So if we go back here, it says Marco took 2 times as many photos as Kevin. We know that for sure, but we just don't know how many he took. So we know that he took 2 times as many, but we don't know how many he took. That's what we are trying to find here. So over here in your strategies box, we need to put a mark down for we're going to draw a picture, because that is what today's lesson is about. Okay, now if you look below, the next box says show the problem. How would you show this problem? Well, I'm going to explain it to you why I show you, and I want you to write it down as I'm explaining on your sheet. So we need to show the problem. Well, we're trying to figure out the number of photos that Marco took. Sorry for my square. We're trying to figure this out. So we know that Marco took all these photos, but we don't know how many. We know that Kevin, I'm going to put a K down here for Kevin. Kevin, he took 248, so we need to draw a box with Kevin's. Well, we know Marco for sure took 2 times as many as Kevin. So he did double the amount of work. So this is Marco, but we don't know his exact number yet. So that's why we have the N up here, because we don't know this exact number. So down here at the bottom, it's saying the number of photos Kevin took. So that's showing you the number of photos Kevin took. This is showing you Marco took twice as many, and we don't know for sure yet how many Marco took. So then you need to ask yourself, how can I put this into an equation? How can I solve this? So in your solutions box, I want you to think, how can you solve this? How can you make all of this into an equation over here? And remember, an equation is when we write down something like 2 times 2 equals n? Well, we don't know what n is, but we know that 2 times 2 equals 4, so 4 equals n. So go ahead and try that on your own and try to write down an equation in the solutions box. Okay, so in my solution box, I wrote down 2 times 248. Why? Well, I needed to write 248 because that's how many pictures Kevin took. Marco took twice as many. So we're trying to figure out what is 248 times 2. And we put it equals n because we put n to stand for the number that we don't know yet. So we're trying to figure out, what does n equal? Well, if we do this multiplication, go ahead and do that and see if you get what I got. Go ahead and multiply right now. So 8 times 2, 16, carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, and 2 times 2 is 4. So we got 496. So what does that tell us? How many photos? What was our question? Well, our question was, how many photos did Marco take? We know he took twice as many as Kevin, but how many did he take on his field trip? Well, we just figured it out. He takes 496 pictures. So in your answer box, I want you to write a sentence. So I'm going to write, Marco took 496 pictures or photos. So you go ahead and write that down into your answers box. All right, and the very last box asks me to check, is it reasonable? Well, our answer, we got 496. Let's see if that's reasonable. How can we check our answer? We can check our answer by doing the multiplication problem, which we already have done. We did 2 times 248, and we got 496. But how do we know if that's right? Well, let's use our rounding techniques. We leave 2 as 2, and we round 248 up to 250, because we have to say, is this closer to 200 or 250? So if we do 2 times 250, go ahead and actually do that on your own right now. Do this problem. So we have, So we have 250 times 2. Let's see what that equals. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4. Plus 1 is 5. We have 500. So that is my estimated answer. So is your main answer a reasonable answer? Well, is it close to your estimation? If it's close to your estimation, then it's a reasonable answer. So yes, it is a reasonable answer. So in that last box where it says check and reasonable, you are going to write this problem, if you have not already. 2 times 248 is close to what 2 times 250 equals, which is 500. So yes, comma, my answer is reasonable. Okay, we're going to try one more together, but you're going to need your book. So open up your book to page 83, and you are looking at number 1. So pause the video if you need to open up your book to page 83, and we're doing question number, we're doing question number 1. Okay, so number 1 says Sharon Stationery Store has 219 boxes. So I'm just going to make a note. You can make a note in your spiral. And boxes of cards. So of cards. Mary's Market has 3 times as many. So I'm going to put M and M for Mary's Market. And we know it has 2 times, I'm going to erase that, sorry. I'm going to put 2 times as many. Oh, excuse me, I messed up. It is 3 times as many. 3 times as many boxes of cards. How many boxes of cards does Mary's Market have? So we need to figure out we can draw a picture to figure out how many boxes of cards Mary's Market has. Okay, so we need to ask ourselves, what do we know for sure? We know for sure that Sharon's stationery store has 219. So let's start with that. So on your paper, we need to make a bottom box that says 219. We know that Sharon's stationery store has that many. So I'm going to put an S for Sharon. Mary's has how many times as many? She not only has 219, the same as Sharon, she has 3 times that. So we need to make 3 boxes with 219 in them. Up top, since we don't know how many boxes or how many cards Mary has, we are just going to put B up here for boxes of cards, because we haven't done our addition or our multiplication yet, so we don't know how many is up there. So I want you to go ahead and write this down. This is how you would show your work on a test that asks you to draw out a problem, a multiplication problem. So to solve this, once you're done writing that, remember, pause the video if you need to. To solve that, we need to do 219, because that's how many Sharon had, times 3, because Mary had 3 times as many. And this equals B. We don't know what B is, boxes of cards. So if we do this problem, oops, I don't know why I put that line. Okay, we need to do this. So 9 times 3 is 27. Drop the 7, carry the 2. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5, and 3 times 2 is 6. So we would say on our answer, B, the number of boxes of cards that Mary has, equals 657.